Look what Tesla did to BMW and Mercedes, the old school brands that had their complacency disrupted by Tesla almost 10 years ago. As Tesla took a huge chunk out of their sales, these brands had to be dragged into the electric age, kicking and screaming, and now look at that. The very first all-electric 7 Series from BMW and the EQS SUV from Mercedes, their now flagship EVs to be, have been unveiled. We'll take a look at both of them, and with the help of my friend Tom Moloughney, the host of the State of Charge YouTube channel, we'll see if they're good enough to compete with Tesla and try to take their market share back. And we're gonna do it right now. Welcome to E4 Electric. Don't forget to click on that subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything moving forward. It's been almost 10 years since Tesla has delivered its very first Model S back in 2012. I got mine a few months after that, as everyone thought I was an idiot buying this weird electric car from some new brand halfway into bankruptcy. No one's calling me an idiot anymore, unless you look in the comment section of any of my videos or talk to my dad. Now, the first market that Tesla has started almost immediately to conquer was the luxury market dominated by BMW and Mercedes. And you can argue, of course, that Tesla is in no way a luxury car, and you would be right, but a lot of us were ready to trade the luxury for the high tech. Mercedes was significantly ahead of BMW in realizing, we better start playing with batteries if we don't want to lose our jobs, and Mercedes has introduced a pretty good all-electric SUV EQC in 2019. Even though I personally thought it was a great ride with a very reasonable price, the sales have never took off, selling only 2,000 units per month on average and canceling its launch here in the US. BMW was a bit slow to the game, but tried catching up with the iX3 in 2020. Since then, both have launched and started the deliveries of multiple EV models, with Mercedes rolling out the EQA, EQB, and EQS, which I think is the best overall car on the market right now. As long as you're inside, it's just too fugly from the outside. And BMW with the iX and i4, same goes for those two, due to what I call the monkey butt front. Don't get me wrong, other brands like Jaguar with the I-Pace and Porsche with the Taycan have done okay as well, and just in the last week, 2 more concepts were unveiled by Lincoln and Audi. But now, let's get back to the 2 brands that have been considered the leaders in this space. Both BMW and Mercedes have unveiled what I believe are their best top-of-the-line EVs, that is their brightest hope to get some of the customers back from Tesla. So let's take a look at them right now, but before that, a quick reminder that this video is brought to you by Masterworks. Later on in this video, I'm going to show you a really innovative way to invest into something you never thought you could afford, so stay tuned to find out how. Let's start with the BMW i7, which I gotta say does have a pretty cool, almost Rolls-Royce-like design, and it does have character despite the BMW designers insisting on putting the monkey butt front grille on this one as well. I mean, are BMW exterior designers allowed to talk to other people, or are they still in a lockdown? And if they are, do their focus groups only consist of drunk 5-year-olds? Because I don't know a single person who finds this damn grille attractive. Remember when the BMW grille was the iconic look of performance and luxury that did not make you think, oh my god, I better get inside quick so I don't have to keep looking at this monstrosity a second longer. And I know it was a bit of a rant about a car grille, but you have no idea how much I just saved on my therapy copay. But once you're inside the i7, you can definitely feel the luxury that you cannot in a Tesla. And look, an instrumental panel and a head-up display. Now, it does amaze me that Tesla has somehow convinced people of a lot of weird things, but specifically that somehow you don't need to have your most important indicators, like your speed, right in front of you. The i7 will have a pretty decent range, targeting about 300 EPA miles, DC fast charging at 8 miles gained per minute, 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds, and the starting price of around $120,000. And just like my ID4, it will come with 3 years of unlimited fast charging with Electrify America, unlike its other two BMW EV sisters, the iX and the i4, that only come with 2 years of charging, limited to 30 minutes per session. And check this out, it has a huge flat screen TV that comes down for the backseat passengers that can also have their seats reclined with a built-in massage feature. The only way I prefer to watch my own videos. I've seen this before in the Faraday Future FF91 prototype, and it feels and looks great. By the way, BMW will still make a gas and a plug-in hybrid version of this car, but it will only sell them in the US and China because apparently we don't like breathing as much as they do over there in Europe, which means that in Europe you will only be able to buy a 7 Series in an all-electric version. Thank you, Tesla. Now let's move on to the Mercedes EQS SUV. So the regular EQS is a sedan, and for my taste it is the best car on the market, but unfortunately Mercedes has turned one of the most beautiful concept designs into something very average. It's almost like the EQS concept had a baby with a Prius. The sales of the EQS sedan with a price tag of over $100,000 have been disappointing here in the US, with just over 2,000 units sold in the first quarter of this year. They're getting their EQ ass kicked. Now, the EQS SUV is actually a pretty good-looking SUV, essentially with the same interior as the EQS sedan. Now we're talking. It will have over 300 miles of EPA estimated range, 10 to 80% charge in half an hour, 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds, and the price will, to no surprise of anyone, be over $100,000. It's got its own air freshener fragrance, I guess in case if you're stuck in traffic after a trip to Taco Bell, a built-in massager, the awesome augmented reality head-up display, which I absolutely love, and of course my favorite, the Hyperscreen. Let me know which one of those two is your favorite, or maybe you prefer the Tesla Model S after all. While you're doing that, we will now turn to the host of the State of Charge YouTube channel and my Taco Bell lunch buddy, Tom Moloughney. All right, Tom, so it's been almost 10 years since Model S came on the market and started taking the market share from BMW and Mercedes away. You know, they're obviously trying to get it back. This is their best right now, right? The i7 and EQS SUV. Are they good enough today in 2022?
Yeah, I mean, would I like them to be better? Sure. But yes, I think they're good enough. Short answer. They're going to cater to what BMW and Mercedes customers want, and that's luxurious driving experience, comfortable cabin, and long range.
Well, so while they were catching up, Lucid came on the market, right? And in many ways beat Tesla, you know, in specs and luxury and so forth. Do you think the BMW and Mercedes is, you know, these two models are good enough to compete with Lucid?
So the Air is a legitimate competitor to both the EQS and the i7. In my opinion, even more so than the Model S, even though the Model S has the name and brand recognition. Tesla is electric cars. But if you really put them up against each other, and I've driven the EQS, the Air, the Model S, haven't driven the i7 yet, but I've sat in it and checked it out up closely. The Air is definitely more of a direct competitor to those two vehicles.
Now, for either one of these two models, the BMW and Mercedes, is there one feature that they can say, listen, we did this one better than anybody? Can you think of one for each model?
So, you know, I'm not going to take one from each model. What I'm going to do is both the Mercedes EQS and the i7 offer a far superior build quality, much nicer, more comfortable, luxurious interior. And that's what a lot of customers that are used to high-end BMWs and high-end Mercedes want. They want that interior to be plush and comfortable. I was driving the EQS all day today. I have one on loan. It just glides over the road like you're floating on a cloud. You don't get that feeling when you drive any Tesla vehicles.
What about, something they could have done better, something they really, really need to improve to compete?
So I think both vehicles, the i7 and the EQS, could have better charging capability. Perhaps these brands should have incorporated an 800 or 900 volt battery system that lends itself to allowing the vehicle to recharge quicker. They both top out at around 200 kilowatts, the DC fast charge rate. Neither one of them holds that rate for very long. So, for luxury premium vehicles that cost more than $100,000, take a look at what Lucid did with the Air. That vehicle charges way better than both the EQS or the i7.
Now, let's talk about the i7 in particular. Well, about BMW in general. I mean, do you know anybody who likes that grille that used to be iconic and now, don't they have focus groups of people coming in and trying to figure out if part of the design is good or bad? I mean, anybody?
So yeah, their new design language up front is probably not something that very many people like. I haven't really met any of the journalists that when we talk, when we go to these events, when we check out the cars, I haven't met very many people that actually think it's a good design language. But it's what BMW is doing now. It's going to spread across the entire brand. We saw it on the i4, the iX, now the i7. It's going to go down to the i5 when the new i5 comes out. That's what you're getting if you're buying a BMW these days. You're getting a big grille. It's their new design language, and I don't really like it, but it is. That's what you're getting, guys.
If for some reason you still haven't subscribed to Tom's channel, you can correct that mistake right now, and I put a link to it in the description of this video. And now, as promised earlier, let me tell you about our sponsor, Masterworks. So, you guys probably saw my Elon and Twitter video, something that everyone's talking about right now, but I bet you missed a crucial piece of advice he gave a few days before. Because when asked about dealing with the inflation, he dropped an absolute gem saying, own physical things. Now, Elon himself may not own a lot of physical things, but his advice was directed to people like you and I because there is one physical asset in particular that has been making waves. In fact, it's already in the portfolios of 61% of high net worth individuals, probably because it has a price appreciation of over 23% when the inflation is over 3. Its market is estimated at $1.7 trillion and fueled by the super rich, continuing even in times like the COVID pandemic. The easiest way to get this asset into your portfolio at the price that works for you is with Masterworks. I've been talking about them for a while now, and hundreds of you guys have already signed up, investing so much that they want to keep giving my audience the priority access. So use the link in the description of this video to get the VIP access, skip the line, and start investing in art. All right, looking forward to all of your comments. Other than that, see you guys next time, and remember to stay charged.